Remember when America was great? Or so we thought. Picture this, it's 2019, the before times, pre-pandemic. We were all blissfully ignorant of what a lockdown was, and social distancing sounded like something a really awkward person would do. Back then, America was still grappling with the whole "Make America Great Again" thing. But across the pond, something interesting was happening. Europe, often viewed as a land of quaint villages and fancy cheese, was quietly becoming a model of social progress. Now I know what you're thinking, John, are you saying those baguette-loving, beret-wearing Europeans were outdoing us? Well, yeah, kinda. See, while America was busy arguing about healthcare and the price of college, Europe was building societies where these things weren't just privileges for the wealthy, but basic rights. It was like they skipped ahead a few chapters in the How to Be a Decent Society handbook. And let's be clear, this wasn't just some socialist utopia fantasy, these were real, tangible differences that impacted people's daily lives. From affordable healthcare to free college tuition, Europeans were enjoying benefits that many Americans could only dream of. So buckle up, folks, because tonight on Last Week Tonight, we're diving deep into the pre-COVID world to see what America can learn from our friends across the pond. And trust me, it's gonna be a wild ride. Let's start with the basics, social safety nets. Imagine a world where losing your job doesn't mean losing your home, your healthcare, or your dignity. Sounds nice, right? Well, in much of Europe, that's not some utopian dream, it's just reality. They understand that life throws curveballs and sometimes people need a helping hand. Now I know some of you are already clutching your wallets and screaming about socialism, but before you have an aneurysm, hear me out. Europe's social safety nets are designed to be a safety net, not a hammock. They provide temporary support to help people get back on their feet, not keep them comfortably lounging indefinitely. Think of it like this. Europe is like that friend who always has your back no matter what. You lose your job, they've got you covered with unemployment benefits. Get sick? No problem. Universal healthcare has got your back. It's a system built on the radical notion that everyone deserves a basic standard of living, regardless of their circumstances. Now let's talk about education. Remember those good old days of crippling student loan debt? Yeah, me neither, because I'm British. And in many European countries, higher education isn't a luxury, it's a right. Imagine graduating from college without a mountain of debt hanging over your head. Imagine being able to pursue your passion without worrying about the financial burden. That's the reality for millions of young people in Europe, thanks to their commitment to affordable, and often free, higher education. And it's not just about saving students from a lifetime of debt. Investing in education is investing in the future. It's about creating a more skilled workforce, fostering innovation, and building a more equitable society. It's about recognizing that education is not just a personal investment, but a public good. Section 4. Living the dream depends which side of the pond you're on. So, we've covered social safety nets and education. But how do these differences actually play out in the lives of everyday people? Well, let's compare and contrast, shall we? Imagine two people, both working full-time jobs. One lives in America, the other in Europe. Both get sick and need to see a doctor. The American worker is hit with a hefty bill, forcing them to dip into their savings, or worse, go into debt. The European worker? They waltz out of the doctor's office without paying a dime, because healthcare is a right, not a privilege. Now let's say both of these individuals lose their jobs. The American worker faces an uphill battle, navigating a complex and often unforgiving unemployment system. They might lose their healthcare, their home, and their sense of security. The European worker, on the other hand, is supported by a robust social safety net. They receive unemployment benefits, job training, and other forms of assistance to help them get back on their feet. Section 5, Healthcare Without the Heartbreak, a European Tale. Let's be honest, folks, the American healthcare system is about as popular as a root canal. It's expensive, it's complicated, and it often leaves people feeling frustrated and helpless. Meanwhile, in Europe, people are living their best lives, free from the fear of medical bankruptcy. They can go to the doctor without having to remortgage their homes. They can get the treatment they need without having to choose between their health and their financial security. It's not that European healthcare systems are perfect, they have their own challenges. But the fundamental difference is that they prioritize people over profits. They understand that healthcare is a human right, not a commodity to be bought and sold. Section 6. From Cradle to Grave. The Security of a European Life. Beyond healthcare, Europeans enjoy a sense of security that's often lacking in the US. They have access to affordable childcare, generous parental leave policies, and strong worker protections. Imagine a world where having a baby doesn't mean facing financial ruin. Imagine being able to take time off work to care for a newborn or sick family member without worrying about losing your job. Imagine knowing that if you're laid off, you'll have a safety net to fall back on. This sense of security allows Europeans to live with less stress and more freedom. They can focus on their families, their communities, and their passions without the constant worry of financial insecurity. Section 7, The American Dream, time for a reboot. So, what can America learn from all of this? Well, for starters, maybe it's time to rethink our priorities. The American dream has always been about opportunity and upward mobility. But somewhere along the way we started prioritizing individual gain over collective well-being. We've created a system where healthcare is a privilege, education is a luxury, and financial security is a distant dream for far too many. But it doesn't have to be this way. By investing in our people, by creating a stronger social safety net,